George, we've talked about it before. You're known as a great recruiter, but nobody bats 1,000. Why don't you tell us a couple of your unsuccessful stories?
Well, I'll give you two that stand out most in my mind. One was when I was assistant coach at Maryland working for Lefty Driesell, and David Thompson, a great player from NC State, was in high school. And so Lefty kept telling me, go down and see that Thompson boy. He said, George, get your ass down there and see that Thompson boy. And so I won. I think it was from Shelby, North Carolina, but he was right down near the state line there. And so for one reason or another, I had more focus on some other guys, and I was working some guys up in New York and that. So it wasn't a priority for me, and it should have been, and particularly since Lefty was on me. So finally, Lefty had some of his friends from down there in North Carolina, guys he acquired friendships with when he was at Davidson, calling him saying, Lefty, how come y'all not recruiting this Thompson boy? So Lefty comes in my office and he said, George, he said, now, God damn it, I done told you, son, you got to get down there and see this Thompson boy. And he said, I'm going to fire your ass if you don't go down there next week and see him. So I go down and see him play, and they're playing this terrible team, and he's dunking on guys and running up and down the court. And so, I couldn't tell a whole lot except the guy was athletic as hell, could jump out of the gym. And I didn't see him shoot many jumpers and that. So I come back, and part of it, I look back now, I didn't have the proper discipline and attitude that I should have had in evaluating him. And so Lefty said, well, did you go down and see that Thompson boy? I said, yeah, I went down and said, what do you think? I said, hell, there got to be 25 guys in New York that can jump as high as he can and can do what he does. So the fast forward, he signs with NC State, becomes Player of the Year, the ACC, All-American Player of the Year, had a great career in the NBA. And so after his freshman year, he's tearing the league apart, and I feel terrible. So we're riding somewhere on a recruiting trip, and I used to just dread even having to be around Lefty because I felt so bad. But he would never criticize me for it. So I said to him, I said, Coach, you and I need to have a talk. And he said, about what? I said, Coach, I swear I feel so bad about this David Thompson thing. I let you down. I learned a big lesson from it. And I said, I'll never let that happen again. And without missing a beat, Lefty looked at me and said, that's all right, George. Don't worry about it. Just give me one of them 25 black guys from New York that can get it. And so that was the David Thompson. And then my other one was with John Stockton. The guy was my car dealer, Jerry Camp. He kept telling me, hey, you need to come see this kid at Gonzaga Prep. You need to come see this kid at Gonzaga Prep. I had a guy, Terry Kelly, was a great player. And he went to Spokane, went to Gonzaga Prep. And so, people would keep saying, he's another Terry Kelly, he's another Terry Kelly. Well, it's like he's another Michael Jordan. Right. So I didn't really follow up on it. And so finally now, it's about the middle of the season, and he's tearing the league up and the state up. And so Jerry calls me, he says, George, I never asked you to do anything since you've been here. And as I said, he was supplied me with a car every year. And so he said, but I want you to come up and see him play. Just tell me if I'm right or wrong. So I go up and I see Stockton play. And by the end of the first quarter, I realized, God damn, I made a hell of a mistake. This sucker can play, boy. So now I tried to go back and mend the fences. He had even gone to my camp. So it was too late. Gonzaga convinced him, hey, if they really wanted him, they would have been on him by then. Stockton's dad owned a bar there in Spokane. I tried every way I could, but we couldn't get him. And so to me, when I look back, there's two Hall of Famers that I probably, I don't know if we could have gotten David Thompson, but we surely could have gotten Stockton if I'd have been a little smarter. So those are what would be my two examples of my failures.
But in 30 years, two's not so bad.
Well, I had a few more, but those are the ones that stand out.